Hi, this is Ryan Pax09, and let's play Transformers Devastation. Last time, we toppled Megatron, but this game still has some goodies for us to explore. So that's what we're going to do right now. But we're going to start off with the logs, okay, that I picked up during the game. But before I get into that, I'm going to turn up the music because, well, it really doesn't help with me reading or anything like that. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah. Collection. Files. Alright, and info logs. Yeah. Cybertronians. Teletran 1. Granted, clearance level gamma. Query, what is a Cybertronian? Cybertronians are robotic aliens from the distant planet of Cybertron. These robots have the ability to alter their shapes, changing modes into vehicle. Each Cybertronian, with rare exceptions, can take on one alternate mode. As far back as many of the memories of stretch, two distinct factions of Cybertronians have been locked in a constant and terrible war. The result is that Cybertron has been left nearly uninhabitable. The heroic Autobots fight to protect individual freedom, while the evil Decepticons believe that peace only comes through tyranny. Their war took to the stars long ago, and both Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots, and Megatron, leader of the Decepticons, have found their way to Earth. Yes, they have. And boy, have they been well, Meg starts the fighting. Optimus finishes it. But yeah, there has been some damage as a result of this war. Okay, next item. Query, what are Energon cubes? Energon cubes were created as a storage device to harness and keep Energon, the Cybertronian's primary source of sustenance. Used to stockpile Energon, the Energon cube has become the primary storage device for the Decepticons who are looking to siphon as much raw Energon out of every planet as they can. Energon cubes are mostly stable, but if hit with a big enough impact or a large enough blaster bolt, they can violently explode. Oh yeah. Query, what are Insecticons? Insecticons are a different life form from Cybertron. They are Cybertronians categorically, but they are not the same as Autobots and Decepticons. The Insecticons encountered here rely primarily on instinct and a hive mind to guide their actions. The last group of Insecticons that Optimus Prime encountered had distinctive personalities, but these are different. These Insecticons were created and bred for one purpose, to serve their master. Whom they serve is a question that remains unanswered, which is probably bad. Oh, and we get voice playback. Let's hit it this one.
Query, what is a plasma core? A plasma core is an ancient device, much like an Earth generator, that produces vast amounts of energy. Long ago on Cybertron, during the height of its peace and prosperity, its golden age, plasma cores were used with some regularity to light up entire sections of the planet. As Cybertron fell into war and ruin, the technology to control plasma energy, thousands of times more powerful than regular energon, was lost. There is a plasma energy chamber deep within Cybertron's core that has remained dormant for millennia because the danger of using it is simply too great. In order to cyberform an entire planet, a great deal of energy is needed to power the Insecticons and to make changes to the planet on a molecular level. To that end, no power supply short of a plasma core could be used to cyberform a planet.
Well, thank you, Teletran, for both that educational bit of information and for giving my throat a break. Oh, you're going to keep doing that, at least for a few. Great!
Query, how does cyberforming work? Powered by a plasma core, carried out by millions of Insecticons and Terraclaws that break down pre-existing structures. The Ferrotaxis supercomputer directs the process of converting any world into one capable of supporting Cybertronian life. The process known as cyberforming restructures a planet's surface as well as its core elements, converting high volumes of rocks and minerals into metals and energon, the life-giving building blocks of all Cybertronian life.
In other words, if the cyberforming had continued, there was no way we would have survived on the Earth. Thanks for saving us again, Optimus.
Query, What is a space bridge? A space bridge is a device capable of bending the fabric of space and time to connect two points in space that are far apart with an energized tunnel or bridge. Once the bridge is traversed, the traveler can jump from one location to another, be those locations kilometers apart or light years apart.
So, for those of you who aren't familiar with Transformers, it's kind of like a Stargate, except without the 7 symbols. Okay, moving on.
Query. What is the Ferrotaxis? The Ferrotaxis is important to all Cybertronians who long for a return to the Golden Age. It contains the principles of the Colonnade of Cybertron. Those principles were the foundation upon which the greatest era in Cybertronian history was built. Despite its cultural and historical significance, the Ferrotaxis is also a supercomputer that directs the Insecticons and the explosive energies from the plasma core to cyberform entire planets. The Insecticons are given instructions from the Ferrotaxis telling them how to reshape a planet's surface, making it appropriate for Cybertronian life. The plasma core's energy is used to alter the foundational elements of the planet to create a self-sustaining environment capable of supporting Cybertronians. There is no Cybertronian that would wish any harm to come to the Ferrotaxis, despite its powerful abilities. When cyberforming a planet, it uses the Colonnade as the basis for the society it builds. It literally turns a planet into a new Cybertron, physically, but also as a society. It must be protected if there is to be any hope of Cybertron returning to a golden age.
Oh. In which case, Cybertron is in really big trouble. Yeah.
Query. Who or what is Nova Prime? Leader of the mission of Cybertronian expansion. Conqueror of the Benzuli Expanse. Nova Prime is often heralded as the greatest Cybertronian ever to bear the Autobot matrix of leadership. He is a prime in the true sense of the word. Not just a title, but a leader and a visionary. His ship, called the Proud Star, set out to ensure the survival of Cybertron forever by finding uninhabited worlds and cyberforming them so that they could be colonized. His legacy and his memory have shone brightly, even over the millennia since his departure.
Okay, that is helpful, but Nova Prime is not the greatest Cybertronian ever to bear the Autobot Matrix of Leadership. That title goes to another Prime. I think we all know which Prime I speak of.
Weary, what is Teletran Alpha? Teletran Alpha is the original computer in the Teletran series. The first of its kind. It had a perfect operational record. There has never been a record of Teletran Alpha having made a mistake. Any mistakes made in which Teletran Alpha was involved have always been attributed to Cybertronian error. However, no Teletran since the Alpha has managed to maintain that level of integrity. Teletran Alpha may have been the crowning achievement of the Golden Age, and every subsequent Teletran has lacked pieces of lost technology that were a part of the Alpha's core makeup. While the Teletran series continues to this day, making very few errors, they are somewhat diminished from the original.
Well, that's okay, Teletran 1. We still love you.
Query. How did Megatron know about the Proud Star under the Earth? It is apparent that neither Megatron nor his Decepticon lieutenants knew for certain what was happening to the city, nor what lies beneath it. However, Megatron's memory of the Golden Age is clearer than most Cybertronians, and so it appears that he suspected that plasma energy was one of the causes of the city's destruction.
Yeah, Megs can be too smart for our own good. Fortunately, he can also be too greedy for his own good. So I guess that works out.
Query. Is Megatron correct that the Proud Star was underneath Earth's surface? Megatron's suspicions were confirmed. The ship he now controls is indeed the Proud Star of legend. Commentary. It must be a perverse kind of joy that Megatron now feels, knowing that the instrument of Earth's destruction was an Autobot invention, an Autobot mission.
Yeah, Megatron's kind of a jerk that way.
Observation. Starscream's anger. Starscream's constant annoyance with Megatron appears to be heightened, as is the tension with his fellow Seekers Thundercracker and Skywarp. It appears that the recent rise in tensions surrounds the search for the plasma core. Starscream is perhaps feeling that he is being underused, and Thundercracker feeling that plasma energy is too dangerous. It is likely that Starscream will berate Thundercracker for his apparent cowardice, while secretly fearing destruction himself by way of the plasma core.
That sounds about right for old Screamy.
all-wise and all-powerful Megatron has deemed me, Starscream, as the bot appointed to carry the plasma core. Bah! That is a job for a lackey like Blitzwing, or that coward Thundercracker. When I rule the Decepticons, tasks such as delivery bot will be relegated to those bots who are not suited for combat and leadership. Such a waste of my skills cannot long be tolerated.
I'm sorry, whoever voiced Starscream for this game, but you're just not Chris Latta. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, you just don't get it right. I mean,
Query. Who is Shockwave? Shockwave has been the caretaker of Cybertron ever since Megatron departed to chase Optimus Prime across the stars. His unending loyalty to both Megatron and logic means that his voice rarely wavers, not because he does not know excitement or fear, but because his convictions are unshakable. Nothing catches Shockwave off guard, and therefore, he is often underestimated. Of all Decepticons, he may be the most dangerous after Megatron himself.
yeah, and his boss fight was totally insane. Yikes! Aw, nuts. Okay, no top chance taking a break, so it's back to me. Proud Star Log, Jaxus. I am excited for the scientific discoveries and explorations that are coming from our mission, but I would be dishonest with myself if I said that I wasn't also getting caught up with Prime's mission. Maybe it's how he carries himself, but the sheer idealism and hope that emanates from that bot is profound. He truly is the best of us. I'm just a scientist, but he truly believes in the spark of Cybertron and carrying a torch from the well of the Allspark from planet to planet. He believes that our accomplishments both as a species and as a society are worthy of taking to the stars to share with others. It makes my science seem insignificant against a mission with that much pride and legacy wrapped up in it. Who knows, maybe I'll convert and call myself an Autobot one day. Proud Star Log, Kranix. Kranix? As in that one guy who was from that planet that was eaten by Unicron in that Transformers anime movie? We sat down on a planet that had no need of Cybertron forming, but did offer us supplies we desperately needed for ourselves. It was shocking to see another planet so like Cybertron itself. It was as if Primus' hand had shaped the planet. There was no smaller life to speak of, but something must have given the planet shape. We took the supplies we needed, but while there, we all thought someone had their optics on us. There was, I don't know, a sense of invasiveness there. And it has been 2 cycles since we left that planet, and something has changed. Nova Prime most not nobly. His confidence is still there, but it's changed. He appears to be driven more and more each passing cycle by his own ego. Not the righteousness of our mission, but his determination that he is right and that the work must be done. I fear for where we are headed now, and I truly do miss my home back in Tagon Heights on Cybertron. There we worked and lived, a simple life but a good one. We've come a long way from Lithone. Back then, changing the planet's core and injecting it with enough raw ore 13, there was a sense of pride and righteousness in our hard work. But now, lost in the darkness of space, we are also succumbing to surges we thought we'd never have. Oh, but that's bad. Okay, I didn't miss the page. Good. Proud Star Log, Jaxus. Our journey grows ever longer. The search for planets that are both uninhabited and have enough base in the real cyberform is a long and difficult one. None of us will talk about it, but we can all feel it. The further from Cybertron we get, the darker our thoughts become. The crew is turning on itself. For my part, I know they're after my science. I've locked them all out, except for the ones I need for my experiments. I can't fathom why they don't volunteer for my work. Don't they understand it's for science? Don't they understand that their sacrifice is for the greater good? Despite the fact that all my equipment can't detect another ship or life form out there, I am convinced that there is a will infringing upon our sparks. Not just a will, but a consciousness. And whatever it is, we are less than Insecticons to it, and I fear that all our good work seeing worlds will come undone if we can't find a way to reverse its effects. Nova Prime is the only one who sees what we're doing for what it is. Cybertron must survive. All our considerations are irrelevant. We will succeed no matter the cost. Oh boy, I am not liking the sound of that at all. Unicron's spark was really doing a number on them. Proud Star Log, Kranix. It has come to this. Most of the crew has been infested with whatever has taken hold of Nova Prime. They have turned their back on our mission, and I am the last one. They know I will not allow them to cyberform any more inhabited worlds. They know I will try to stop them, even if it means scuttling the ship. But there is a way that I might be able to survive. There is a shuttle. It can't take me back to Cybertron, but perhaps to one of the planets we have seeded. Perhaps I could live out the rest of my days in peace. The horror of what I have seen, the destructive power of both this ship and the planet we landed on. Nothing has been the same since we landed there. I have programmed the ship's navigation to crash the next time the Ferrotaxis is activated. I will attempt to escape if I can, but my odds are not good. So that's what happened. Lithome was a planet that the Proud Star had cyberformed, and he got back there. Only for Unicron to show up. Oh. Proud Star Log Kranix. This is it. We've come across a planet hardly worthy of us even attempting to Cybertron. It would take too much energy to convert all that mud and rock and water to a planet Cybertronians could inhabit. But what's worse is that there is life there. Plant life and what appears to be a kind of intelligent life. Not mechanical, something else. It's glitch-inducing to look at, and to be sure, but that doesn't mean it should be destroyed. My trap is set. When Nova Prime and the others fire up the Proud Star's cyberforming protocols, we'll launch into the planet's surfaces. This will only work if Jioxus doesn't find my hidden commands in Teletran Alpha's operating system. He's the only one smart enough to find them. But hopefully he will be too late and I'll be on a shuttle. I've chosen to try and make it back to Lithone. Yep. It should be well formed by the time I arrive, and that was the last planet where I remember us all feeling truly proud and happy. I could use that feeling again now. Oh no, the cyberforming protocols are enacted. I have to get to the ship. It's my only chance. Wow. That's a callback to the movie. Kaon barriers. Query: where do those walls come from? As one result of the cyberforming, several technological barriers have appeared throughout the city, which are strikingly similar to Decepticon barriers used previously in the city of Kaon. These barriers exist in both armed and unarmed forms. Unarmed Kaon barriers need only to be attacked with persistence, but armed Kaon barriers will require careful focus in order to get past them unscathed. Yeah, I learned that one the hard way.
Observation. Kinetic shields and barriers. The barriers are erected by whatever is doing the cyberforming. The same basic technology is used by Megatron and his troops for extra shielding. This kind of technology has not been used since the golden age of Cybertron. They can only be broken by use of extreme force. Most effective method of destroying them is to gain full speed in vehicle mode before attacking.
Thank you for that educational thank you for telling us that, Teletran. And again, thanks for sparing my throat. Okay.
Query. What are plasma accelerators? Whatever is creating the kinetic barriers also seems to be creating plasma accelerators. This is curious, as those are ancient Cybertronian technology that has long since been abandoned, largely due to the prevalence of space bridge technology. In order to use the plasma accelerator to increase your velocity, enter it in vehicle mode, and it should provide a significant boost in speed, allowing you to break even kinetic barriers by simply running into them.
Yep, I noticed that one. Thanks, Teletran.
Observation. SentryBot. These security satellites appear to be the optics and audio sensors of whatever is causing the cyberforming to take place. The signals and direction to these Insecticons are coming from somewhere else, and it would appear these satellites are a part of that overall system.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, they're not fun.
Analysis. It appears that these walls are malfunctioning. Something has corrupted this system and is causing malfunctions of all kinds and magnitudes. Cause of the malfunctions is currently unknown. Insufficient data.
I think the cause of the malfunctions is Unicron, but that's just me.
Query. What are the pods in the ship? The 6-sided pods are symbolic of the Cybertronian colonnade. The colonnade had 6 cultural axioms, or columns, that gave the colonnade its long-lasting strength of concept. These pods, however, serve no actual function in regard to the colonnade beyond a representation. They appear to be containment units and stasis pods for Cybertronian life.
Yeah, mostly Insecticons. I'm not a fan of Insecticons. Ugh.
Observation. Cargo lift. The cargo lift was created to access any level of the ship. Its anti-gravity propulsion system allows it to move freely throughout the ship's vast infrastructure. The turret, it appears, was originally designed to house a pilot, but has been converted to hold firearms. Conclusion. Something went wrong on this ship. The crash, the turret, the failed mission. It does not appear that the Proud Star fell from the sky due to an outside force, but rather an internal dispute.
You have no idea, Teletran. Unicron slunk in, and boy, did he turn the crew against each other in a major way, from what I'm hearing. Yikes.
Query. Why are there stockpiles of Energon cubes in the city? Energon cube stockpiles are used by all Cybertronian life for fuel. The stockpiles around the city suggest that there are large numbers of Cybertronian life forms nearby and active within the city limits.
Well, that explains a lot. I was wondering why there were so many piles of Energon around.
Query. What are these chests? Often accessed via the transspatial converters. These mobile depots contain any number of items, from weapons and ammunition to augments that permanently improve a Cybertronian's abilities, such as strength and endurance.
I know, I've been raiding enough of them to figure that one out myself. Thanks, though.
Query. What are transspatial converters? They are Cybertronian in origin and have the ability to fold three-dimensional space into a trans-dimensional vault. Upon accessing one, whatever has been folded inside reveals itself.
Okay. I remember this little pain in the neck from G1.
Query. What are Kremzeeks? Kremzeeks are electrical beings that cause havoc with Cybertronian systems. They are rare, but seem to appear when certain systems meet with unnatural power surges. They appear to be alive and always name themselves Kremzeek for reasons unknown. It is unwise to taunt Kremzeek.
Oh, you have no idea. I still remember that episode with Kremzeek. I mean, it was just chaos incarnate. Boing! And Teletran did not enjoy that one, as I recall. Well, I think we'll call it here. I hope that you all enjoy, that you like, favorite, subscribe, all that good stuff. It'd really help me out, and I'd love to have you. And I hope to see you next time as I continue my wrap-up of Transformers Devastation. So until then, take care.
But the Earthlings
will die.